Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Confidently You podcast. It's me, Helen, your host and coach, owner of Fit Girl Club UK. How are you? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. My goodness. So if you're listening to this the day of release, then and you're living in the UK, if you're not living in the UK, just ignore this bit. But if you're living in the UK, you will be enjoying a few sunny days. And I know I talked about it last week. We do have an obsession with the weather here in the UK. It's because we have such turbulent weather. But honestly, sun comes out and life just feels a bit lighter. And it's just beautiful, isn't it? And it does make you appreciate it more. Trust me, it does. And I know some of you might be frustrated with the long, dark winter months, but we're here now and we've had a couple of sunny days. And on my morning walk with Martin and Una, it is nearly at a time where I can leave my head torch at home. 6:30 in the morning, we tend to head out the house. So if we're running on time, and by the time we got back today, just after 7, it was full light. Full light? Full light. There's obviously better words for that. Full light. That'll do. That's a Hellenism. If you know me well enough, you'll know I make up words and my brain sometimes just doesn't work as fast as it wants to, or I'll say the wrong word for stuff. I definitely think that's a bit of an ADHD trait. Remember, self-diagnosed. But yeah, full light and feeling brighter, and it's going to be spring soon. My good friend Claire, she won't mind me name dropping her. We were out for a run on Saturday in Filey along the beach. The sun was shining. It was glorious, absolutely glorious. And she was like, well, it's spring now, isn't it? I was like, technically not. She's like, oh yeah. So she kind of makes up her own seasons, which I absolutely love. So it doesn't get her down. I think she said winter's only 2 months a year. Basically, it worked out that summer's 6 months of the year. So maybe we should all live in Claire's seasons, but realistically, spring is in March, girls. But we're starting to see snowdrops. There's some, they're not tulips, crocuses. What's the multiple of that? Get on to me if you're a gardener or if you're into your horticulture. And just the birds are singing, and I just love it. It's just glorious. And not sometimes, all the time, I try and remind you, and I'll always remind you of this. If you don't like this, you shouldn't be listening to me, by the way. I'll always have that opinion. There's plenty of other podcasts out there. But I will always try and lead you back to positivity, back to the light, and appreciating the small things in life. Because trust me, once you start appreciating the little things in life, your life just seems better. I know the world's on fire. The world's on fire. But girl, there's nothing you can do about that. All you can do is protect your peace, live by your values, be a good person that you want to be, and yeah, you're allowed to appreciate the little things in life, because if you just go down that rabbit hole of negativity, then you'll get stuck down there. And that's just affecting your life. It's just ruining your life. You can be across it. I'm not even going to talk about anything, but you can be across everything that's going on in the world, which is just craziness. It doesn't mean you're burying your head in the sand. You're aware of it, but you've got to protect your own energy and your own peace. And I really realised this around Christmas, and I've talked about my social media ban and banning social media and coming off social media and banning TikTok. I've deleted TikTok. It's gone in my life. I don't even post on there anymore. I don't care about the likes and the followers and everything that I'd gained. I think I was at 20,000 followers or more. And I'm just like, no, I just don't need it in my life. You can focus on negativity and you can be a positive person and you can feel the injustice in the world. But if you focus on that, it'll just bring you down and your mood down, and it'll make you feel like crap. So you can be aware of it, but trust me, you have to look after yourself. Because if you're down in the dumps, down and out, then it's just affecting your life. So that's my little positive piece of persuasion for today. PPP. And yeah, I think that's just really important to remember. So I hope you're enjoying a few brighter days and appreciating the small stuff. So let's get on to today's topic. This is something that I think near enough every woman that I've helped or comes my way has either dealt with or is dealing with in some respect. And it is a trap that if you're just starting out, it's probably keeping you stuck. And unfortunately, it is something, this sounds really negative, doesn't it? But it was, I'm going to give you the positive by then because I'm going to give you solutions like I always do. I give you free help on here because I want everyone to have the best life they possibly can, and you deserve that. But unfortunately, especially if you're around my age or older, maybe a bit younger, especially growing up in the 90s, that diet trap that we got stuck in, and it got us stuck in a repetitive way of thinking. And you probably think this way your whole life, and you need to look at your values and what you believe, and maybe start, if it's not working for you, start changing your narrative. And it's something that's keeping you trapped, and it's the all or nothing mindset. I've touched on this before, but I think it's such a good topic, and I'll come on the end with some solutions for you, just really breaking it down. But this is the trap that keeps most women stuck, and it's the pattern that every woman knows. I've never met a woman that doesn't know about this, and it baffles me as well because now I'm out of it and I'm coaching people to come out of it. Sometimes it baffles me that it's like so generic across the board. You are not alone. This happens to near enough everyone. So what it means is it's keeping you stuck. It's a pattern everyone knows. It's the starting again Monday. I'll start again Monday. It's the diet hopping. It's the yo-yoing. It's the fantasy that you need to have a perfect week to have success. What? I know, and I'm saying, what as if this, because I'm out of it. But when you're in it, it's all you know, and it's all you think, and it's all you believe. So it's not actually probably shocking to you. So some of you might be listening and going, yeah, well, that's what I need. But I'm going to change your narrative today. So you need to be open with your mindset. You need to be open to different suggestions, because remember, if it's not already working for you, then why can you not change your narrative? It's the belief, and I used to have this, that one meal off plan is like, oh, I've ruined it now, ruined it. It used to be like one day, if I've had certain thought, oh, I've ruined it now, might as well eat everything in sight. And how this cycle keeps smart women stuck. And who are you? Clever women. Most women I work with are high achieving. They're achieving well in every aspect of their life, apart from when it comes to self-care and diet and everything, looking after themselves. So this isn't a discipline issue, it's a thinking pattern. So this episode is a mindset episode. It's all about your thinking and your beliefs. And I want you to start opening your eyes, or even just being acknowledging to the prospect of potentially maybe changing your mind sometime in the near future. Because as long as you have that spark, as long as you don't just turn this off now and go, no, shut up, lady, what do you know? As long as you're open to perspective, anything's possible. The amount of times I've changed my mind on stuff, the amount of times I've changed my beliefs on stuff, I was so adamant on certain things of who I am, of who I want to be. Gosh, like think of something extreme, like when I was a smoker, I couldn't imagine not being a smoker. And now, even if someone walks past me in the street with a cigarette, I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. But when I was a smoker, which I did for 14 years, by the way, girls, right? Not done it for about 10 years. But when I was a smoker, I was like, well, this is part of my identity. It's who I am. I'm a smoker. It doesn't bother me. I'll always smoke. I used to actually say the only time I'd stop was if I got pregnant, which obviously has never happened. But I stopped because, one, it got too expensive, and two, then I was like, oh, actually, this is really bad for my health. Like, really bad for me. And it was a waste of money. And I was like, what is this giving me? I was like, absolutely nothing. It's just an addiction. So what all or nothing really is, it's black and white thinking. It's this on or off again. There's no different greys in between. You are literally, I'm eating healthy or I'm not eating healthy. I'm on a diet or I'm not on a diet. And it's too rigid. You have set yourself up for failure with too many rules, because you've said to yourself, well, if I'm not doing well or eating a diet or losing body fat, I might as well just be doing what I want and giving up and eating everything in sight. It's two ends of the spectrum that you're jumping from, whereas there's so much nuance in the middle and so many different things in the middle that you could be doing, which would mean that you're still successful. But the problem is we want this quick fix, we want the easy win, and we've been sold this. We've been sold a lie. We've been sold this solution that can happen overnight, when realistically, it's the messy middle bit that you need to learn. You can do the all or nothing. You're good at that. But that's not working for you, is it? And I'll keep saying this, it's not working for you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be stuck. You need to learn the waves in the middle. It's good days or bad days. Oh, the amount of times I did this. I'll tell the story and I'll tell it again till I'm blue in the face. And it's when I lived in Australia. I was healthy during the week and I was literally the epitome of health. Got up at 5, got a bus down to the gym, went to the gym, walked to the train station, got into work. I'd already probably done 10,000 steps, done a gym workout. I had a smoothie for breakfast. I'll tell you exactly what I had, and I still remember it because it's so specific, and I had this every day. 4 rice cakes, plain rice cakes, with a quarter of a tub of cottage cheese, with 1 tomato for lunch. This is the Helen Sutton diet. I could pattern it. And then I'd get home and I'd have probably 2 salmon fillets, because one's like tiny, like the really thin ones, and a bag of I do wish they had this in the UK though, it's called kale slaw, and it has this yogurt dressing with pumpkin seeds in, and that's all I'd have every day. It's probably 1,000 calories, if that. And I'd go do a workout every day. And then it'd get to, no, Friday I'd be all right, but it'd get to Saturday. Saturday, and I'd go out and I'd get pissed and I'd drink. But this is the thing with me. I was drinking gin and soda because soda was the least, well, soda's got no calories and gin's really low calorie alcohol, or Coronas. I used to love a Corona, but I'd go out all day Saturday and all night Saturday. Then I'd be hungover on a Sunday and I'd prepare for it. I'd know it was coming. I'd be like, yes, I can't wait to have this. I'd get a family-sized 24-inch pizza from Domino's in Australia. Family size. It was huge. It was like 16 slices and a kilogram worth of jelly sweets. That, with the alcohol from the Saturday and whatever I ate on the Sunday, I'd blow all my calories for the week. Now, I wasn't necessarily putting on body fat, but I wasn't where I wanted to be and I wasn't healthy. It wasn't a good place to be. It was starvation in the week, overconsumption on the weekend. And I lived for that for years. And I repeated that cycle for years because I thought that was good. But it wasn't. I wasn't looking after myself, was I? So you're good and bad days. That was me. My good days were Monday to Thursday. Friday, I'd probably, it depends. Depends what I was up to. Saturday, Sunday were bad days. Back again on Monday. Must get back to it Monday, feeling like crap. Ugh. And then you think of yourself as on track or off track. I'm on track. I'm doing really well. Some of you will do this for weeks as well. It won't just necessarily be where you're a weekend warrior. What happened for a lot of you will be January, hit the scene. You'll have been good for a few weeks, and then something will happen the end of January. January's long, goes on forever, and it's dark, and you're like, oh, you get to the end of the month, and your friend says, do you want to go out for a drink? And you're like, oh, I can't. Best not. I'm being good. Oh, come on. Just one. And then you go out and get hammered, and you have the best night ever. And then the next day, you're like, I'm hungover, and you're like, oh, stuff it, I give up now. If you'd have planned that in and been more consistent and fit things in your life, you wouldn't have felt like you'd given up. So why it feels motivating at first is because you've got passion, you've got energy, it's new, you've got a spark. Everyone, when they start something new, it's a dopamine thing. You're like, yeah, I could do this. But usually as well, you come from a place where you're fed up. So post-Christmas, you've overeaten, because we all do, and you're feeling like a slug, and you're like, I need to do something about this. I'm fed up, I'm miserable, I need to make a change. So you've got this real high drive. Then you have a few weeks of doing it, and it gets really hard and boring, and you're like, oh, and then you give up at the first hurdle. So the reason why this all or nothing thinking collapses under real life is because it doesn't suit your life. It doesn't suit anyone. You're trying to do something that doesn't fit in with your life. You're trying to be like, no, I can't come out. I can't go to a cafe. I can't do anything that I enjoy. I can't even eat, insert food that you enjoy, a bit of chocolate, a bit of cake, or anything that you enjoy in moderation. You're like, no, nothing. That is bad. And then as soon as anything comes up, where you might have had a bad night's sleep, you might have children and they're keeping you up, or you've got a busy, stressful job and you just want a glass of wine on a weekend to relax, or you just want to do something that you enjoy. And as soon as there's only so many times you can knock back and say no, 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 without it then going, oh, actually, yes, I want to do it. Or you just feel so trodden down that you just give up. And then the problem is then it's your mindset, because you feel like a failure. Whereas what you need to do is make it fit in your life so you don't feel like a failure, so you fit things in moderation. You've got so much on and you're trying to, what you're doing when you're going on a diet or being good is you're already busy life, everything going on. You're trying to then fit in something that's really restrictive and rigid when you've not got much breathing room as it is. So the hidden cost of this mindset is you'll have energy crashes from extreme restriction. So you're feeling exhausted anyway. And if you restrict yourself, you'll feel even more exhausted. So then your decision-making fatigue goes down the drain, and you'll just want to snack on sugary snacks. You just think it's about willpower, must try harder. But you're just giving yourself and your body not a fighting chance. You're in a losing battle. You're going to fail. It's like impossible. So it's inconsistency that slows progress, because you'll go, look at your year as a whole. January, you'll start out, you're going to diet. You're giving up by February. Right, I'll do it again after Easter. And then you're going to diet, and then you give up by summer. Right, I'll do it again in September. All this while, usually you're gaining weight in between. Right, I'll do it again after Christmas or next year. Do you see the repeat of the pattern? And then it knocks your confidence, because you're self-deprecating, because you're like, well, I'm just not good enough, and Sharon down the road can do it. Why can't I do it? I'm just obviously not strong enough. I haven't got enough willpower. I'm useless. And this is this self-deprecating narrative that you have that makes you feel like a failure. And then you're constantly starting again. Oh, start again. That is, even talking about, is exhausting. And then you have the emotional fatigue as well. You feel useless. You don't feel happy in your own body. You're self-deprecating. You're putting yourself down, and you repeat again. And we'll go again. Come on, this time I'll do it. This time I'll do it. Must try harder. This time I'll do it. So it's not just about fat loss. It's about the mental load that this has on you. And years. Most women I help are in the 30s. I do help any ages, but most are in the 30s. Up to some of the women I'm helping now are in the 60s. And they've done this to themselves for year after year after year after year. And they feel exhausted. So I flip the narrative with all of this, and I teach people why perfectionism and perfection isn't required for results. So progress comes from your averages, not your single days. So if you looked at your life, and if you looked at a year, so I like to use the sliding doors analogy. Hopefully you've all seen the film, but if you haven't seen the film, it's where Gwyneth Paltrow gets on a train. No, she's going to get on a train, and she misses the train, or she gets on the train, and then the whole film then shows what happens to her life. So the woman that gets on the train catches her husband cheating, and her life goes on from there. The woman that misses the train doesn't catch her husband cheating, and then her life goes on from there. And it shows two different trajectories of this woman's life. Now, you are in a position of sliding doors. It's January, okay? And you've got one version of you that starts a restrictive diet. Then you've got another version of you that starts a lifestyle change and starts fitting in more manageable, achievable goals, whether it's nutrition, training, movement, all three, but you make it more manageable. Instead of this high diet, restrict, must try harder, forceful, you're gentle, kind, and there's the two different trajectories that happen there. So the first person will lose weight really fast, right? So she'll get on the scales in a week. She's lost 6 pounds. Woohoo! Yes, I'm a success. Let's go. The second person might only lose a pound, but the second person carries on doing that throughout the year. So £1 a week, by the end of the year, £52. You do the math. I don't know what that is I work more in kilograms. To be honest with you, I don't do weight loss anyway. Well, let's say she loses 2 centimetres, okay? So times that by 52. But weight's easier, so for this example, I'm just going to do weight because I can't times. So that's 23 kilograms in a year, okay? Who's on £1 a week. It's just £1 a week. And some of you might be like, oh, that's just £1 a week. That's not much. Okay. But let's remember this. Okay. The first person loses £6 in the first week. The second week, she loses £4 because she doesn't lose as much because there's water weight and different things that come into play when you go on an extreme diet. The third week, she loses £3. So she's lost £13. Wow. Amazing. That's in 3 weeks. The fourth week, a friend Jane comes around and brings a bottle of wine. She's had a tough week at work. She's had something go on with a family member. She's had a lot of stress. She's feeling exhausted. She drinks 4 bottles of wine. That's extreme. Gets a takeaway and gives up. So she's lost £10. Then in February, she puts on £10. In March, she puts on £5. She starts again in April. So she's already £5 fatter, for want of a better word, than where she was when she started. And then she repeats this as the year goes on. So she loses a bit, puts on a bit more, loses a bit, puts on a bit more. So by the end of the year, she's 15 pounds heavier than she was at the start. Whereas the other sliding doors version of you, who lost a pound each week, maybe gained a pound one week because she went on holiday, maybe lost a couple of pounds, maybe lost half a pound. Let's average it out. She lost 30 pounds in a year. Person A, restrictive diet, put on 15 pounds. Person B, moderation, lifestyle change, listen to a coach, went with the mindset, and with kindness, lost 30 pounds in a year. Which person would you rather be? When you put it like that, it's so obvious which one you'd pick. But if I said to you, oh, you can lose 13 pounds in 3 weeks, you'd pick up option A. If I said to you, option B, oh, you'll only lose 3 pounds in the first 3 weeks, you'd go for option A all the time. But this is why you need to look at the bigger picture and take a step back and think about the long term, because that's what we want. We want the long-term success. So progress comes from averages, not single days or weeks. It comes from complete averages over the months. I used weight there as an example, but if this is the first time you're listening to me, just know, if it's not your first time, you'll already know this, I do not use weight as a metric of success. It is a shite metric of success. We use measurements, we use how we feel, we use that energy. I've got a client at the minute and she's ever shrinking. Her pictures, she's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. She'll quite happily, won't mind a shout out, Jodie, fantastic lady, absolutely wonderful. Her weight hardly moves, but she's getting into smaller dress size. She's looking better. She's feeling better. So why would you care what your weight is? It will move eventually, but it's not showing instantaneous results. Now, if she relied on weight as a metric of success, she'd have given up. But I've given her the tools so she knows that what she's doing is right, the support and the motivation and the accountability. And she is absolutely smashing it. So well done, Jodie. Shout out. Body change is about consistency over time. One higher calorie day does not undo the week. I need to shout this louder. A lot of women as well will maybe have an event that they're going to, so they can plan it in for the week, and they save some calories and they end up having a higher calorie day, a few more drinks, end up eating more than planned, or something on the menu wasn't quite what they thought. So say they go over the calories by 1,000. That would still mean they're maintaining that week. Look back to your life a year ago. You were probably steadily putting on weight. There is nothing wrong with having a week where you don't put on weight and you don't lose weight. Centimetres, body fat, call it what it is. Maintenance is important too, because it's about managing those lifestyle factors and still incorporating events and things that you enjoy, social events that you're going to go to, without over restriction. We need to take the emotion away from the fact that you're not just, we're just so focused on, I must lose to have success. But successful people will lose, maintain over the course of the year. If you go on holiday, you might gain a little bit, but it doesn't mean you're a failure when you give up and that diet's not worked. Because if you think the diet's not worked, it's the wrong diet for you because you've not fit in with your lifestyle. And missing one workout doesn't erase strength. This is ridiculous. If you miss a month of workouts, yes, it'll have an effect on your body and your muscle mass. But you know what? Bounces back quick, and muscle memory is a thing. You can gain muscle back really quickly, and it's quite fun to go from somewhere where you've had to, if you've been forced into rest or you've had a holiday period or anything going on, get back to the gym, lower the weights a bit and gain some more. The body likes rest. And if you're absolutely knackered and going to push yourself to do a workout that's not productive and putting you in the ground even more, feeling like shit, you're probably going to get unwell. It's better to miss that workout than to force yourself into it. Forcing yourself into workouts where you are run down or in the ground is unproductive. So missing one workout doesn't erase any of your strength or your muscle. So I want to introduce my concept to overcome the all or nothing thinking, something I'll be using in my new program, which is launching on February the 23rd, the Glow Up, a 12-week program, which is helping women over 30 gain confidence, lose body fat, drop a dress size with ease without all or nothing thinking. And that concept that I'm using in this program is called Better Each Day. So what that actually means is not tiny effort, it's intentional improvement. Okay? Small course corrections instead of dramatic resets. So when you start out in the glow up, I'm not going to get you in and be like, right, let's change absolutely everything. No, we will start with small micro changes that you can easily incorporate in your life that we're then going to compound. Okay? So each day we're going to work on better each day. Now, this is about momentum over motivation. A lot of women that come to me are like, oh, I'm not motivated, I just want to be motivated. But motivation is a spark. It's lighting a match and it's the fire that burns out. Momentum builds energy over time. And if you think about a snowball rolling down a hill and it's gaining snow and it's getting faster and it's getting bigger, that is momentum. And what I want you to do is be more consistent. And this is what I'm going to teach you in the glow up. And it's about little bits. You start with that little small snowball and it rolls and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it's a massive force that's rolling down the hill. And that will be you. Great analogy. Massive force rolling down the hill. So what better looks like in real life? Better each day. So it's hitting protein even if your calories are a bit higher. It's going for a 20-minute walk instead of skipping getting outside. It's logging food honestly instead of quitting. So what I mean by that is, even if you're going over your calories, I'd rather you be honest, because if you don't be honest with yourself, you can't help yourself. It's choosing one balanced meal instead of writing the day off. So you've had a high calorie meal. It doesn't mean the rest of the day has to be a write-off. Starting next meal, not next Monday, and it's getting back on track the next meal, not next week. So how this creates more energy and not less, it's less mental fatigue for you and less mental drama. You've already got enough drama going on in your lives. It's less guilt and shame, so you feel successful. You're having little ticks, little wins here and there, and that gives you dopamine and that makes you feel like a success. You all love a pat on the head as much as I do. A bit of praise, a bit of well done, tick, tick, tick. We absolutely love it. It's more stability. It's better recovery, not burning yourself into the ground. And it's sustainable fat loss that lasts. You will be person B in the sliding doors example. Remember person A? Put on weight over the year, you lost it and you kept it off for life. This is an identity shift. Though, and it's going to be about you're going to stop being the woman that restarts. You're going to become the woman who adjusts, who is capable, who is confident. Confidence builds from keeping promises to yourself, and you're going to start trusting yourself and growing through repetition. And you're going to start building that self-love and compassion that you'd have for your best friend. And we're going to start having that for ourselves. So ask yourself, where are you in this now? Are you being all or nothing right now? Do you want to become better each day? Do you want to have the choice to become like micro learnings that are going to make you feel empowered and reinforce the fact that you can do this? You are not a failure, and consistency beats perfection every single day. So this is what I'm doing. Next Monday, the 23rd of February, I'll be launching The Glow Up, my new specialist program, which encompasses this and more. There's information in the show notes if you want more information about that. But what can you do today to make each day better? Start thinking about, don't overhaul your life. Don't go out for a 10-mile run. One thing better each day. That's all I want you to start thinking about. And little things. Adding more veg to your meals, getting out in the sunlight, going to bed an hour earlier, reading a bit of your book instead of scrolling on social media. What's the one little thing you can do this week to make a difference? Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed that episode. More information about the Glow Up in the show notes. Don't miss out. It's going to be a fantastic new program. There are limited slots, so once they're gone, and I will never offer it again. It's going to be a one-time thing next week. 23rd of February, it goes live for 1 week only. Any questions, just message me. I'm always here if you need me, and have a great day. Bye.